Hey guys, welcome back. It's Katie from Whole Nourishment, and today is the spring edition of the Seasonal Pantry Staples series. And I have 3 spring pantry staples I want to share with you today, so let's dive in. The first spring pantry staple that I love is mug beans. Now, mug beans are a small green bean with a white stripe down the middle. And it's together with azuki beans, which is another small bean, the easiest bean to digest, especially when we soak it. Any dried bean, legume, lentil, grain, we want to be soaking to reduce the phytic acid content and other anti-nutrients as well. And mug beans, according to Ayurveda, have a bitter, astringent quality to them, which is perfect to counter the dampness that we can have in the spring, the rain and the cold, and also the damp conditions in our body, the chest cold, the allergies, the coughing, the mucus. We want to be incorporating some dry, astringent qualities in our food, and mug beans are perfect for that. Now, I like to include them in dals. Also in other soups. You may remember a few weeks back when I posted the spring greens and bean soup, they featured these mug beans. The second spring pantry staple that I love to incorporate is roasted dandelion root tea. And it's hard to find here in Europe, but I'll leave a link below where you can find it. In the US, it's easy to find at Whole Foods or Thrive Market online or Amazon. But roasted dandelion root tea is really rich and nutty. It has a dark, almost bitter flavor to it. A lot of people like to have it instead of coffee if they're trying to replace coffee. It's completely herbal and caffeine free. But it's also dry and bitter and astringent. So again, a good counter to the damp conditions that we can often have in the spring. I like to sip it as tea, and I also learned from my friend Laura from Food, A Love Story that you can actually open the tea bag, empty the contents into your soup, and use it as you would use regular fresh greens. Now, of course, fresh bitter greens are great, so the more bitter, the better. Dandelion greens, beet greens, escarole, chicory, like the endives, all of these types of greens are great spring greens to incorporate, and that's why that soup I mentioned, the spring greens and bean soup, is such a good soup for the spring because it combines 2 foods that have the dry, astringent qualities that are great counters to the dampness. The third and final spring pantry staple that I want to share with you today is not a food or an ingredient, but an idea or a mindset, and that is to create quiet space in your day. Now, here's the idea. When the seasons change, our body also changes. Our needs, our cravings change. For example, in the spring, I feel more energized. I notice that I want to do more robust activities and exercising. I crave different foods. But if we are in this one mode, which is the go, go, go mode, the fast-paced, never slowing down mode, then we will overlook these changes in our body and our needs. If we don't find ways to work into our regular routine, ways of slowing down, checking in with ourselves, reconnecting, then bigger issues can arise eventually. We may start dealing with chronic fatigue or exhaustion or burnout, anxiety, or physical issues like digestive issues or chronic inflammation. So it's to our benefit if we find the small, manageable, sustainable ways of checking in with ourselves every day, of creating that quiet space, of hitting the pause. Now, I'm going to go into this topic more in the future because it's a big part of the work that I do with my clients. But for today, to share some ideas with you for how to get started in creating quiet space, here's 3 ideas. One is breakfast. Having breakfast without scrolling through our email, without listening to a podcast or reading the news, having breakfast in silence. That is a great way to create quiet space first thing in the day and really set the tone for the day. Another idea is going on walks without the phone. I know I'm so tempted to listen to a podcast or scroll through my email when I'm walking Layla, but going on walks without the phone allows us to just let our thoughts come and go, to observe nature, to listen to all the sounds of the birds and the wind and our breath and our footsteps. Now, one other idea for creating quiet space, if you're one that has a very regular routine each day, then it may benefit you to set a timer to remind yourself a certain time of the day when you know you'll need it to check in with yourself, to tune in, take a step away from your work, push yourself back from the desk or get up, focus on something further away to rest your eyes, close your eyes maybe, focus on deep breathing or do some meditation or stretching. And this is an easy way to check in on a regular basis that takes 10 seconds, 1 minute, however long you want it to. I hope these tips and pantry staples are helpful to you. I hope they're inspiring and help you think of your own pantry staples that you love or you would like to incorporate more of. Let me know in the comments below what pantry staples you love to incorporate in the spring. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.